Hey everybody, Mike Burkholder, Contra Costa today. I'm here with Janet Frazier of the Network of Care. How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
Doing well. You got a big event coming.
We do. A little over a week on Saturday, March 10th, we have our major fundraiser, the Crab Feed. It's our 12th annual Crab Feed, and it's being held in Antioch.
So buy tickets. But I wanted to bring you on because I know you have the Crab Feed coming up, and I kind of wanted to talk a little bit more about the organization and what you guys do and how you help people in need and, well, parents in need. So how did it get started and what was the mission behind it?
Well, back in December of 2000, our two daughters went snowboarding for the day. It was a normal day for me. I'd gone to Rayleigh's, did my grocery shopping. I was cleaning the house and the phone rang. And we found out that there was a car accident, and I thought they said that my youngest daughter was being x-rayed. So I'm thinking a broken leg, broken arm, something minor. But it dropped everything, went straight into the car, drove to Roseville, which from Oakley I think is a little over an hour. And back then in 2000, you didn't have, the social media like you do today or cell phones. So I was trying to call phone numbers. I was getting fax numbers. We're trying to find out where, our oldest daughter. So when we got to the hospital, they took us in the quiet room, and no family ever wants to be in the quiet room. And you remember everything vividly about that day. So a chaplain came in. He had a blue polo shirt with the word chaplain, and handed us a little vial, like a pill bottle, with Lindsey, our youngest daughter's necklace that said Lindsey Frazier on it, and said, "I'm sorry for your loss." And, we were just hysterical, obviously. And we knew she was in surgery, but we didn't know about Stephanie. So, I mentioned, after breaking down, what about Stephanie? And the chaplain said, "Who's Stephanie?" And I said, "My oldest daughter. She was in the accident." So he left, and I thought, oh, they don't know what's going on. Everything's fine. They don't know what's going on. You kind of suspect it's bad, and the only way you can get through it is to actually think that there's chaos and they don't have the facts right. So the other nurses came in, doctors and the CHP person, and sat down and said, "Lindsey is in emergency surgery." And they methodically walked us through what had happened. It was a head-on collision up on Highway 50 near Pollock Pines. And they went through all the occupants of the two cars, and then they said, Stephanie did not survive. It's been 17 years. I still break up saying those words. So Lindsey came out of emergency surgery. She was critically injured. And we followed her to the trauma center. And, they have, these are kind of comfortable chairs, but the chairs were very hard because in a trauma center, it's a small room with all sorts of machines, and they really don't want you to stay long. Well, they allowed us to stay because of her injuries. So I think that was a Saturday morning. I think by the time she came out of surgery, it maybe was around 1 o'clock. And sat by her bedside, and early Sunday morning at 4 in the morning, she had complications, and the nurses and doctors all converged on the room. And I stood up to get out of the way, and I almost passed out. And a nurse walked me outside the room, had me sit down, and asked me when I ate last. And I said, "I don't even know what day it is." So in thinking back, my last meal was Friday night, and this was Sunday morning at 4 a.m. I know I didn't eat Saturday morning before I ran to Rayleigh's and was cleaning the house. So she had me sit there, and then she left, and she came back, and she had her hands out like this, and she had her brown sack lunch, and her homemade sandwich was on it. And she said, "Take a few bites." And I will never forget the feeling of somebody doing something so nice in just the face of a horrific day. And I actually felt it in my heart. So that was December of 2000. Lindsay's doing great. She was 17 at the time. She recuperated from her injuries. She lives in San Diego.
She's married now?
She just got married. It was a beautiful wedding the end of October. So Lindsay had internal injury, had a lot of injuries. So in the 2 years helping her recover, there were friends whose daughter was going through a bone marrow transplant. And my friend had her backpack near the garage door because they would have to leave the house suddenly. And I was going to Rayleigh's just filling it with granola bars, fruit cups, you name it, grab and go type items, not even telling her.
Sure.
And she would call and say, oh my gosh, it was so helpful. We had to wait for the surgeon or the doctor and it just took forever. And then another friend was feeding the homeless in Concord at Baldwin Park, and they were using little bags. And I kept thinking, I wonder if I can do something with the food in the bags. So when Lindsay recuperated from her injuries, we approached Kaiser Walnut Creek with stuffed animals for the children in the hospital. And I mentioned to a nurse what had happened to me, and I would really love to bring food for the families. And the nurse is Mary, and she had big brown eyes who got really, really big and said, this is the #1 thing the families need and they don't have, and that is food. A basic need. You're never going to think about it. So within a week, I sat down with 2 nurse managers at Kaiser Walnut Creek with all different types of bags, Ziploc bags, brown bags, these types of bags, and all sorts of different food items. That was January of 2004. And I asked them, what types of families do you have in the hospital? And they gave an example of a mom, single mom without a support system in the area from Richmond, because the nearest bed was Walnut Creek. And she had no money for food, and they were trying to raid the cafeteria, and they were getting in trouble. So these items come in so handy. So we landed on what's in the bags are a cup of soup, a macaroni and cheese, a fruit cup, granola bars, and a snack cracker, and a fork and spoon, and a flyer, which talks about why we do this.
And you settled on purple. What's the significance?
Purple was Stephanie's favorite color, and then the butterfly, she loved butterflies.
And those are on every table?
They are, yes.
Every centerpiece has one?
Yes, exactly.
And they're hand-colored?
We do have the butterflies on the wall are hand-colored, yes, by children in the community.
And so now how many, you started out with one hospital. How many are you at now?
I think 58. We've helped families at 58 hospitals throughout the state. We have a lot in we've got, I think, 13 or 15 counties. Contra Costa, Alameda, we have hospitals down in San Diego, Long Beach, Los Angeles, Orange County Children's Hospital, as well as Stanford, UCSF Benioff Children's, Oakland, UC Davis, Sacramento, the Kaisers, the Sutters. It just kind of goes on.
And I know like a year or so ago you guys hit a huge milestone. How many bags have you had?
Well,
or provided, I should say.
So it's about 240,000 now.
Wow.
Since we started, which is huge. I never would have thought it would have grown like it did.
And you guys take, what's nice about this organization is all the money goes back into the bags.
Yes.
And so you guys don't take a cut, and everything that comes in goes out.
Correct.
And I mean, it's just an incredible program. The not to plug the event, but it really is an amazing event because you have some families that that have received the bags show up. You have county support show up. It's a really touching event. I love it. It's one of my favorite events every year.
We
I love taking photos there.
It's and everybody looks forward to it. And groups that don't know other groups, and they see each other once a year. It's our 12th annual, and so for 12 years they see each other. And their groups who started with 2 or 4 are now, I need 18 tickets, I need 24 tickets. So, and people call me, like usually in September, which date is it? So they can block off the weekend to make sure that they're in town.
And so you guys have done almost 240,000 bags. That's a lot of man hours and people that are putting bags together. You've had a lot of help from some of your private and public support systems. You also have special ed from Deer Valley High School. How did that come about?
Oh, that was interesting. One of our volunteers was, and again, we're all volunteers, was collecting raffle prizes for our crab feed and saw a friend of hers. And she told her what it was all about. And Julie, it was a teacher at one of the schools with special needs young adults in the community-based instruction program. And she thought it would be fantastic if her students could partake and help the network of care. And at that point, we were growing by leaps and bounds, and I was logistically very challenging, as you can imagine, without a staff. We all work.
Yeah.
And so we have students at Deer Valley High School, the Gateway program at Liberty High School, and then the Office of Education Special Ed at Heritage High School. And the students throughout the school year and summer school assemble bags for the network of care. And what's really neat, it's such a win-win, a win for the families because we're able to get them help. And the hospitals are demanding more and more food for their families, which is just awesome. And then the student interns, special ed, who are learning vocational skills. So they're learning, you know, if they are packing 600 bags, you know, particular week, they need to know how many cases of cup of noodles and mac and cheese to get. There's 12 to a case in one and 24 in another, so they're doing the math. They do the assembly. It has to be a certain way. There's a quality control person. And there's somebody who does the shipping and receiving, and, you know, different hospitals get a different quantity. So they're learning real life transferable skills that can help them after employment. And
yeah,
it's just awesome.
Sorry to interrupt you. What was cool about going to the award ceremony that you did with certificates is that it was like each of them had their own special job, and that they were like all in on it.
Oh yeah.
And they loved it.
Yeah.
And so it was really neat to see them not only participate, but then get acknowledged for participating, and they were all about it.
Oh my gosh. Yes, they are so proud of what they do, and they have mastered it. And I always talk to the teachers, and they always say, you know, it is just amazing that they are just so dedicated and so passionate about the network of care and what they do.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool. We're just really proud of that partnership.
And then you have a lot of help from your company that you work with.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that.
So I work for Chevron, and one of the things, there's a corporate caring volunteer week in September where all the corporations are able to allow their employees to volunteer for nonprofits. And in the surveys where I work, they wanted events on site because, you know, after work, yes, you have your week where you can help, but throughout the year they want to help. But a lot of people have children, daycare, you know, they find it hard. So we're able to, you know, during lunch break, have the employees come in and assemble bags such as this, and then those are distributed to Children's Hospital. So the Chevron employees really support Children's Hospital Oakland. It's pretty cool, and they love doing it. There's a waiting list of people at my work who, you know, want to come in, and they really, really enjoy it. And a lot of them have received bags, you know, my colleagues, or know of people who have. Everybody knows about the purple bags. You walk through the hospital with the bags and people will mention it, yeah.
What's it like kind of just hearing the stories from parents that have received a bag? And, you know, that's not obviously an easy conversation at the time, but when people reflect back on the bags and kind of share their story with you, what's kind of that like?
It's really very touching to hear what other people have gone through. You know, it's hard to imagine. You know, I think my situation was very severe, but when you hear from some of the other families, so there was a wrestling injury at one of the local schools here, and they went on to 3 different hospitals, and they finally wound up at the Sacramento Kaiser, I believe, with a specialist who was going to do the surgery at like 2 in the morning with no food. And what they always say is, I was brought to tears. I don't know how many times families have said that when the nurse or social worker came in with a bag, because it was something so nice somebody did in the case of their horrific day, and to know that there is hope. And then to the nursing staff, there is a lot of times there, you know, you've got terminally ill patients, you have very sudden accidents, injuries, and things aren't going well. And it's a way for the nursing staff and social workers to give something to the parents to put a smile on their face. I hear from the staff, you know, they'll smile, they'll open it up and they'll smile. It's a gift of food. And in the first few days of a crisis, everything is in chaos. Your life is unraveled. Your support group, whether it's your church group, school group, they haven't mobilized yet because it's just utter chaos. So these food items are just critical in those first few days of a crisis.
And so what's it done for you in the recovery process? Because I know you're never going to get over what happened, but how's it helped you kind of move forward? Because I know you put so many hours into this.
Mm-hmm. I knew I needed to do something, and I just couldn't put my finger on what I needed to do, and I needed to land on something that made sense. And what it's done for me, just to see how it's grown and to see the support from everybody, there isn't anything negative about it. It's all positive, and it's easy. I mean, it's basic food items that go into hospital. It's really helped me heal over the years that I could give back. I'm not, you know, donating with a check. I am giving of my heart and giving back. And so it's really helped me heal.
Yeah, I don't know how I could top that part. So why don't you plug the event again and let people know how they could purchase tickets. And
Okay. So we have our 12th annual crab feed coming up on Saturday, March 10th at the Antioch Fairgrounds. It's a great event. There's somewhere around 350 to 400 guests every year. And as Mike said at the beginning, it's a really fun, it's a really nice family event. And you can purchase tickets online, and I believe on...
I'll throw the link in there.
Perfect. And we've got some tickets left, so hurry and get your tickets.
We got raffle items, good desserts.
We have desserts. We have a live auction because we have some really cool tickets to the Warriors and A's game and box seats, so that's very cool.
Who's the MC this year?
Mike Davies, the former chief of police of Brentwood, and a lot of people know Mike. He's a great guy.
He's out in Discovery Bay now.
He is. He's the town general manager.
General manager, so he's always fun.
Yes.
So a plug for Mike. So, well, I just want to thank you so much for coming on and sharing what you guys do and your upcoming event, and where are you guys headed next with this thing?
Oh, I don't know. We keep just ramping up and up and up. We are rebuilding our website, and this is one of the struggles of being a volunteer organization. We don't have a staff to do these things. So we were just able to get somebody who's going to help us with the website, so we're excited about revamping that. We're on social media. I'd love to post pictures of the families. We can't because of the HIPAA laws, obviously the privacy laws, but
they could send them to you.
Yeah, you have to get into the hospital pass. Yeah, but anyway, yes, we're just still headed on a growth spurt again. I think Children's Hospital at Stanford just upped their request, so which is really cool. And again, we're in San Diego, Orange County, Long Beach, and then from Modesto to Sacramento to Santa Clara, and up north.
Now, could people donate at any time throughout the year with funding?
Yes, our major, and that's where we struggle. Our major fundraiser is the crab feed, but during the year we need help because we have shipping costs, and the food because the demand of the hospitals has gone up. So yes, they can donate on our website. They can send a check, and we really, really appreciate that.
And just remember, the website is The Network of Care.
Yes.
THE.
Yes, you have to put THE, yes.
So, well, anyway, I want to thank you so much for coming on. I, again, really appreciate what you do and all that you've accomplished. So thank you so much. And I know that in a week and a half, we're going to have a lot of fun.
We are.
So, and I'll have my camera out there hopefully drag Michael Pohl along with me.
Awesome.
So everyone, I'm Mike Burkholder, Contra Costa Today. Please like, subscribe, follow, share, and we will see you next time. Take care.
Take care.